Good morning. It is gloomy out here. It's been raining for days. Fortunately, the sun looks like it's about to peak up over there, but it's still very overcast over yonder. And I had my fridge off last night, so I'm finally bringing in about 130 watts of power. And it's 11 a.m., so I've clicked that back on, and now I can probably also turn the lights on. The situation has been bleak, and I've been sitting in the dark with the light of a little lamp. One good thing about having the rain for days is that I can go investigate the hole I made by my shower drain just to be 100% sure that there's no moisture getting in there. I'll be a bit bummed if I find a puddle in that hole, but I feel positive. So let's get the lights on and head to the corner and see what's up, and then we're gonna attempt to put in this new drain. So this is my current situation. I've used up all the power in my lithium batteries. I have a big one from Bluetti, and I have some smaller ones from All Powers. The fridge has been off overnight, so I've kept it closed, which has meant no breakfast for me. I just want to keep the cold air in there while it fires up again and gets up to temperature, or gets down to temperature, I suppose. But I have enough power finally to turn on the lights. So let's do that, and let's go check out the shower. Fingers crossed, this is all looking nice and dry. And yeah, it looks good. It looks very, very nice and dry and crumbly. So I've been sitting in the dark all morning. I haven't had any breakfast, any coffee. My morning routine has been thrown out the window. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna dive into this drain installation. I have a rough idea of what I wanna do, but it is very rough, so I'll contemplate this over breakfast. Okay, morning routine. Got my coffee. Some kind of breakfast, poached eggs today. And I usually listen to a podcast while I prepare my breakfast. And now I'm going to eat while I do some video editing from the filming I did the day before. And then I'll get back to work. The sun is trying to come out. I'm going to hide in my doorway because it's a bit windy out there. But it's a beautiful day. The solar is charging up again. And yeah, it's like the clouds want to part, but they're hanging on. And it is great to see lots and lots of rain, but it's also great when it goes away and the sun comes out. But I've got work to do inside. So back to it. So it's a little shadowy in here. Let's see if this light helps a bit. So I have this super awesome drain, and this is how it compares to the super not awesome drain. And I've got a box of parts, so all the stuff hopefully I need to connect everything and steer this drain a little bit more over this way. I had actually presumed that this drain would be a lot deeper than this one, but it looks like they're kind of both around the same, so that could mean that I don't actually have to raise the floor up at all, which would be very amazing. And so this part is, I guess, what gets embedded in the concrete. And then this part slots in on top. And I imagine this is in there permanently because I think the tiles will then go on top of this part. One thing that's sort of surprising is that the pipe for this one is bigger than the pipe for this one. So that's what these connectors are for. I'll have to, I think I use this one to bring it up to the size of the drain that's in the hole there. So I've got some fiddling to do, and I also feel like I might want to steer. So let's see, put this big one in there somehow, bring it down using this one, and then that goes in there, and I can bring the drain out just a little bit closer to the center, and that could work okay. So let's see, I can't really think of any advantages to having it at the side. I feel like if it's steered in this direction, it's going to be easier to work with, and it'll give me a lot of space to actually put the drain on. If it's over here, I think that this big square bit might be a little bit too close to the side of the tray. It might look weird. I just think it would be weird. So I'm gonna get the chalk out, mark where I think this stuff needs to go, and then grind some holes. Okay, 1. 2. That was a little easier than I expected, actually. Oftentimes you'll have to use dish soap to be able to get them to stick in. So, win! All right, now I guess let's see where this lines up. So that'll go in there, something like that, let's say. And I guess that's around where the drain will be. Let's just grind the whole thing out just to give myself space to work. Okay, cool. Let's do it. What a dusty nightmare. It's crazy in here. A lot of debris to clean up, but I got the job done, more or less. So that'll sit in there. That pipe will sit in there somehow. And I won't need to raise the floor, I don't think. So this is very good news. But I'm gonna evacuate this area for the moment. It's super dusty. I probably should have opened this window. And I'm going to go investigate what's happening at the back of the house and possibly put some stones in and finish that off. So let's go see how it looks out there and get out of this nightmare zone. I brought my lime supplies inside out of the rain, so they're ready to go for when I need them later today. Come here. Where are you going? Why are you running away from me? Usually you like to cuddle. Yeah, there you are. How are you doing? Are you coping okay with the noise and dust in there? You don't seem too phased. You're a very chilled out guy. I've got work to do, Larry. So I've got a nice supply of small rocks here, some larger rocks there, small ones intermixed in there, that I'm going to use to plug up this hole here. Actually, before I get to that, probably one of the most common questions I get is, what the heck is this building right behind my house? This building, I don't know what it is. It's basically a glorified tool shed. There's 2 spaces on the bottom, and the building is owned by 2 separate families, 2 separate people. The left side is the part that runs down beside my land, and I don't know where the land on the right side is, but I think it's 2 hectares, which is loads, and I actually have no idea where it goes. I'm wondering if I should perhaps do a question and answer video, maybe when I get to 10,000 subscribers, hopefully soon. So if anybody out there has any pressing questions, keep an eye out for the community posts. I'll probably put something in there and ask that you ask your questions in there, or you could even ask some questions in the comments in this video, and I'll make sure to double back and take a look. But now it's time to pull this bag out and see what's going on under here. So it's been drying for maybe 3 days. It's still soft because that's just the nature of lime. It'll be soft for a while, but it doesn't look like there's moisture getting in there, and everything looks good. So I'm gonna find some stones, pack them in here. So I want to get some stones that look okay. I don't really like the brown ones, although they could just be dirty, who knows, but I like these ones. Just a variety of sizes. I might only need, I don't know, 3 or 4 to finish this off, but if I have a good selection now, it'll just save me time later on. All right. So it's not finished yet, and I've kind of wedged the stones in place with pieces of cork and some small stones as well, just to hold it while the lime solidifies. This is the inner coat of lime, and then eventually I'll come back and point it once it has a chance to dry. You can notice though that my pointing from before, this is the spot that I started my pointing practice at the very beginning, and you can see that it comes out to be flush with the stone, which is because I didn't really know about grinding it away and making space. So I kind of just did what seemed right at the time, and it's not amazing. It's not amazing, but it's kind of hidden away back here, and so I don't mind. And yeah, you have to practice somewhere, and this is how we learn. So I'm not exactly sure I should have done this job today, even though it is beautiful and sunshiny out now. It's supposed to rain really hard tonight and tomorrow, I think, and then we have sunshine after that for a little while. So as I think about it, perhaps I should have waited a few days to do this, but I guess I was just anxious to get it done and totally forgot about the weather forecast. So it'll be interesting to see how this survives. Maybe I can find a way to cover it up, I'm not sure. So that's done. Maybe I'll have to redo it, hopefully not. So I've made it to the shower tray, but I'm going to do just a little bit more avoidance. I'm hoping to refine the bottles on this side of the bottle wall before the lime gets too hard. So I'm going to spray it, soften the lime, and do a bit of scrapey around the edges to try to get the shape a little bit more in line with what I want. So let's get that done. And then after that, I'm going to inspect the drain, see how it all works, how it all fits together, and hopefully get the thing cemented into the base of the tray. So my goal right now is to make the edges a little bit more flared out so that I have more flexibility when I come back in and build the wall out a bit more. It just gives me more space to work with. So this is quite small and closed off. I just want to open them all up a bit more. So I've got some work ahead of me, and I'll see you again when they're all done. So I'm a lot happier with this. I've got way more space around the bottles to plaster with. It just gives me a lot of flexibility later on. And now, let's figure out how this thing sticks together, how it works, get it in the hole, and get it covered up with cement. So this is a 3-to-1 sand to Portland cement mix. I don't really like using cement. I feel like lime can do most things. There's a bunch of different types of lime for different purposes, but I'll generally use cement when it's stuff to do with water. So the bottom of a shower tray or my splash pool, I'm definitely going to use cement there. You can use other techniques as well, but I don't know them. And sometimes you just have to get on with things. So Tadalact is one thing that you can use. It's a Moroccan technique for waterproofing lime. It's amazing. I'm going to try to use that on my shower walls because it's not really meant to hold the water. It's just to meant to make it so the water runs off. And there's also a lime called NHL5, which is quite hard, and that can be used for water-related things as well, but it's really difficult to get in Portugal without buying a massive pallet of the stuff. Before I mess around with the drain too much, which is still a little intimidating, let's deal with this hole. I've mixed up half the batch of cement so I don't have to rush, and I've got a selection of stones to pack in there so I don't have to use quite as much cement. So this hole was never here for any specific purpose. It's just that when I was putting the pipe through the wall, I think I pulled out a big stone and just never replaced it. So it's sealed off, and now it's time to work on this scary part. And the reason this whole thing is a little bit scary, I think, is because this all has to kind of, I don't know, sit at the right level so the tiles can go on top of it, so that it's angled in the correct way, and so that the drain is level in both directions. So there's a lot of stuff to consider. I imagine there's a decent amount of room for error. You can probably fix quite a lot of stuff with the tile adhesive, but yeah, I guess I don't really know where to start. So I suppose let's get this thing in, connected to the pipe. Let's take out this manky old mask. Come on, manky old mask. Get that cleaned out and connected. I've got the secret weapon, some dish soap. I think I can add this after, and it'll probably be easier with it off. I guess my next step would be to pack cement underneath it so that this whole thing stays put. Actually, next step, pour water in the drain, see if water drains. I know it's not level as it is, not by a long shot. That way's okay, this way not good. So this top piece can wiggle around a bit to make it level as needed as well. But that's not really even close. So I've got some finagling to do. I'm going to dig out a bit of this, push this down a bit more, see if I can get it a little more close to level. So you'll see me again when I have this all in the right spot, ready to add the rest of the cement. So things are more or less ready to go. The way the drain is, I can actually use the black piece to get everything as level as possible. This doesn't have to be perfect. So let's bury some pipes. So I want to leave the concrete a little bit lower than this plastic thing just to give me some flexibility later on, because as I've mentioned, I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing is the correct way. I do think I'm going to need to grind out a little bit more over here, just because the thing that sits on top of this is square and it needs a bit of space because I'm going to want to orient the drain in a certain direction. But I'm, I guess, sort of confident with how things are going. I also need to slope the floor from this side in this direction down. At the moment, the whole shower was kind of sloping over to here, so this corner probably needs to be built up a little bit more, or the water will want to pool where the old drain was. So I have a bunch more work still to do. I'm going to do it off camera. This is all very time consuming, and I feel like you've probably seen more of the bottom of my shower tray than you really ever need to. So I'll do all of the other little things I need to do off camera, and the next time you see the shower tray, hopefully, I'll be laying some tiles. Hello from a new day. It's beautiful and sunny, and though I said I wasn't gonna take you back to my shower tray for a while, I have done a little bit of work on the bottom of it, and I'd like to show you what I've done before I end this video. I've got my workbench set up to do some carpentry stuff, and I'm excited to push forward to do something a little different to the shower tray. I'm going to start working on the bathroom side of things and try to figure out what to do there. So hopefully that's a fun task. I still haven't made any decisions, but I'm excited to get started. But before I take you back to the shower tray, let me take you to the back of the house, because I put those rocks in and it rained like crazy. So I haven't checked to see yet if they're still there. So let's go take a look. Fingers crossed. I have no idea how this is going to look. It really did rain a lot, and it was still very soft, so hopefully nothing's washed away. It's looking good. It's as I expected. So these rocks are now in here firmly, and I can come back and point these probably tomorrow sometime. So that's good news. Happy to see that, and I'm happy to see a beautiful sunny day as well. And in the shower tray, I have some developments. Basically, I've put some cement on the bottom to try to make it easier to tile. The tile orientation will also help me determine which way I set the drain, because I want it the same way as the tiles. And I've also done some liming in the corner, reinforced by this sort of mesh stuff. So there's progress being made in here. Today I'll probably work on reinforcing this corner and possibly this one as well, but you've seen lots of lime work, so I'm going to switch focus in the videos to woodworking, and when we come back to the tray, it'll hopefully be to tile. So that's it from me from this video. Progress is slow, as usual, because it's me, but steady. And I'm hoping to keep pushing on with this project until it's finished. I'm excited to switch sides over to the carpentry stuff in the bathroom. I still need to come up with some ideas for that, but I've got a few things floating around in my brain that might work. So as always, thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying my videos. If you are, please do give them a like, and I'll see you in the next one.